This was me in 2021. This was me in 2022. And now this is me today in 2024. I went from fat to fit, from morbidly obese to skinny fat to fairly average. And I just wanted to talk about my experience in this video. It was really like a bell curve. I started out very, very obese. But it was easy because all I did, and I made this mistake, don't do this. However, all I did was go on a caloric deficit. I ate 1,000 calories every single day with no breaks, no pauses in the diet. And I lost weight very, very rapidly. And it was even fun sticking to my diet. It was easy, in fact. I lost 60 pounds in 3 months. It was some of the easiest stuff that I've done, and I couldn't believe I'd waited that long to lose the weight. Now, I did it in the improper way. I will get to that later. But I lost weight in I lost 60 pounds in about 3 months. Now, the first part was easy. So it started off in the easy zone. Imagine a bell curve. But then, as I lost the weight, the bell curve went down to the negative side. Okay, it was terrible because, yeah, I was no longer obese, but I was extremely skinny fat. I looked like a pear with a plump little belly. Zero muscle at all because in eating only 1,000 calories a day, I did not retain any muscle whatsoever. I just starved myself for 3 months to lose weight. And what I recommend for anyone that actually wants to lose weight in a proper way is to not do that because I set myself back unnecessarily in doing so. Don't do that. Instead, what I recommend is losing weight slowly and working out at the same time. Maybe only be in a 300 calorie deficit. But I was in a 1,000 calorie deficit and I never worked out. I never did cardio. I never hit the gym. I just simply didn't eat. And it led to, I'd argue, a worse physique, at least a worse mental state than being fat. Because when I was just straight up obese, yeah, I was obese and I wasn't considered attractive by any means. Any of that sort of stuff. I was not fit by any means, but at least I was big and I was fairly strong. Now, what I had done is I had just lost all of that fat and lost all that muscle at the same time that I already had built up. Because when you're huge, your body does require some muscle to lift that fat up, right? And so what I did was just lose all the fat and muscle at the same time. And it just left me feeling like a shriveled up pear or grape, okay? Mentally, I felt worse because now I didn't have any strength. I just felt like a little walking blob, basically. And sure, I might have lost the obesity, but I mean, look at that physique. I'd almost rather be 60 pounds heavier than have what I became. And it was mentally awful. I didn't know how to fix it. I looked up videos. What to do if you're skinny fat? Should I? And this is like the most extreme case of skinny fat you'll ever see. When people say skinny fat, my case was terrible. I would look up videos dealing with skinny fat, and I'd see these guys that aren't even really like, they don't even look bad. And then I looked at myself and I was like, holy crap, how am I? It was like overwhelming, and it's overwhelming even thinking about it. How am I going to fix my body? What am I gonna do? And it took 2 years to even get to the point where I no longer looked like that. It was awful mentally because I'd look up videos, should I bulk and gain muscle first? But then I didn't want to do that because I was scared of gaining weight. Because for the longest time, my only goal had always been to just lose weight. And so I didn't want to bulk because I just simply didn't feel like I wanted to be bigger. I was so insecure. And then I would look up videos and they would also say the same thing, except telling me something else, which was you should cut. Just simply cut. Lose all of your fat before you start bulking. But I couldn't. I just cut for 3 months and I was exhausted. I could not diet any longer. And so for 2 years, I switched back and forth between half committing to bulking, then switching up and half committing to cutting, and constantly changing it up because I didn't know what to do. And I kept changing my mind about it because I couldn't decide. And I was so insecure about how I looked. And so the whole process of becoming, I'm not even gonna call myself skinny fat. What was I was a little plump pear. That's what I was, okay? I had the worst case of skinny fat in history, basically. So I'm not even gonna call it skinny fat. It took me 2 years to go from plump pear to just average skinny fat because I was indecisive and insecure, which had resulted from my terrible cut, my terrible initial cut where I lost the 60 pounds. I might have lost weight exceptionally fast, but it set me so far back in the long run. It's important that if you want to lose weight, you do it the proper way and you go on a slight caloric deficit and work out at the gym at the same time. Don't do what I did because it really did set me back for 2 whole years. Now, eventually, I did get to the point where instead of being a plump little pear, I was average and skinny fat. And then I cut down to about 150 pounds. And then I decided to start bulking. And that's led to where I am at today. But it took 2 whole years for me to get from plump little pear to skinny fat to an average, somewhat healthy physique, which is where I am at now. And it's gonna take probably 6 more months before I gain significant muscle. Now, with that being said, I am very happy with where I am at today. I just had to suffer to get through to it, to get to the point that I don't feel insecure about my body like I used to. And so, my advice for anyone out there that wants to lose weight is to just lose weight slowly. It might suck, it might mentally be challenging, but in the long run, it is so much better. And you will save about 1 or 2 years of time in total. Because I could have gone from obese, had I worked out in the gym every single day, in 2 years to skinny with muscle. But I decided to opt for lose weight as fast as possible. And I just lost all my muscle. And it did not work out how I wanted to work out. Now, with that being said, it was a bell curve. So it started out super easy. Then it got into this territory of just mental hell. It was awful for 2 years trying to figure out that pear body skinny fat solution. And once I finally did, it took 2 years to do so. But once I finally did and got through those hard 2 years, it's now getting to the point where it feels much, much easier again. And I'm extremely excited to hit the gym every single day. And I'm so happy to have made it through that 2 year period of time because it was hell. It was genuine hell. But now it's gone back up. The bell curve has gone from up to down to up. And now it's easy again because all I do is eat a lot of protein and hit the gym and live a healthy lifestyle. And I feel great now. But I just kind of wanted to go over my experience going from fat to fit. And I hope anyone else out there that wants to make this journey does it the proper way. Don't follow my footsteps. If you want to lose weight, if you're 300 pounds and you want to lose weight, do it slowly. Okay? Go on a slight deficit, 300 calorie deficit. There's apps online that you can Google. Just go into Google, type in caloric maintenance calculator. You put in your stats, it will tell you go 300 underneath caloric maintenance level and hit the gym. Figure out a decent gym routine. Arms, shoulders, chest, back, and legs, and you are set. And by no means do I think I am as fit as I want to be. I want to gain way more muscle, and I think my gym and growth story has just begun. However, I would say I am more fit than about 70% of the population. And now in the gym community, I'm pretty much below average. I'm fairly in the middle. I'd say below average even in the gym community. But if you take the population as a whole, just the physique that I have now is already better than 70% of the general public's physique. Because you don't understand how poor the average person in most Western countries' physique and health is. Just with the physique that I've built over the last 2 years, and it's already better than about 70, maybe more than 70% of the general public.